Hello, you sexy badgers. How is everyone? Right, where are we? A little bit rush today. I'm sure the kids will be home soon as well. Stampeding in as they do. Oh dear. I've got a little bit of a confession to make. I feel like a bit of an idiot, but I'm hopeful and happy about the outcome because I've now learned something. Basically, I've got a really good mic. This is like the Shure SM7B. It's a good mic. It's the one that all the podcasters use, the Joe Rogan mic. I bought this a few years ago, but I've just never been able to get my audio to sound as good. And I thought I'm going to have a look at the settings. So I looked at the settings on the back of the microphone and on the audio interface that it connects to. Well, the microphone settings have been wrong, so I changed those. The gain, which is like the amount of essentially volume that gets inputted, that was way too low. So I've boosted that. I think worst of all, there's a switch. One is like essentially for voice, and the other is for instruments. Guitars, drums, violins, whatever. Well, have a guess which setting I had it set on. Yeah. So I've been recording my voice through this lovely fancy microphone for years with the audio interface set to instrument, like an absolute lemon. Yeah, so thank you, Reese. Yeah, so it probably and hopefully should sound rather crispy. Hopefully. So yeah, I'm very happy at the improvements that have been made to audio here at Dansky. I feel like a twat as well. Oh, goodness me. Dansky the instrument. Yeah, well, I guess technically your voice is an instrument. So, yeah, just let me know how the audio is. It should be louder. But if it does get a bit quieter, I can boost it, no problem. But yeah, I feel like an utter lemon, but I'm happy because now my audio is kind of at the level it should be. It's a good mic. I'm just a fool. Hmm. Hey, Nick. Shut up. Go away. Goodness me. You can have a 1 minute timeout. Right, what was I saying? Only 3 years in the making. Yeah, literally. Oh my goodness. I got no time for spam comments. I ain't got the patience for it. I got two kids. They want my attention every 5 seconds and they want to say the same thing 100 times. I can't do it. I can't do it. Yeah, we're going to be doing some Affinity today. This is going to be fun and interesting. I've played around with it a bit, but honestly, I haven't touched it for quite a while now. So we're going to be diving in and doing some beginnery introductions, and I'm probably going to learn a thing or two as well. So let's open up this bad boy. There you are. All right, we'll start by going to File and down to New. There we go. Nice, responsive new document window that doesn't lag and has text in the center of the buttons. Pretty straightforward, really. Got all your different sizes here. Drop down, web, print, blah, blah, blah. So let's go for print. Why not? Yep, that looks good. Artboard checkbox. I mean, it's the same kind of stuff you've probably seen with Illustrator. This is I'm probably going to be making a lot of comparisons between Photoshop and Illustrator as well, because I think Affinity Designer is the equivalent of Illustrator. So there's probably going to be a lot of people coming from Illustrator that might have wanted to make the switch, but it's like, ugh, I've got work and deadlines and I've got to relearn everything. So I'm going to try and make that process as seamless as possible. So bleed, if you want to have margins when you create a document, that's a nice addition there. Color, RGB. And we could have an artboard as well. Why not? Let's have an artboard. Yay. Create. There we go. Boom. We've got our artboard. I definitely need some music. Dansky, the sound designer. Absolutely not, but thank you, Marco. Yeah, I noticed Invato was down. I think it was last night. I was like, what? What is this? Invato's never down. But then what did I do? I think I like refreshed it or opened it in a new browser and it allowed me to get in and I was able to get the soundtrack I needed. But I was like, are you serious? It's down. Like, like I needed it yesterday for a thing. And I somehow got it working, but I think now it's down again. On my large machine now, walk to the office with Dansky in one hand and my coffee in the other. Nice. Yeah, I know what you mean, Meow. It's especially if you're like busy and you've got things to do, it's very difficult because you've got to kind of take that hit and be very, very slow for a while in terms of productivity while you learn the software. So it's ruined my whole day. I keep refreshing. Oh no. Oh, what a shame. I can't do any work today. I mean, that doesn't really work when you're running your own business, you know. If you work for a company, it's like, oh no, it's like a snow day when it snows. Oh yeah, I can't get into work because the snow. I'll have to work from home. Work from home. When you work for yourself, it's just like you lose. Right, I need some beats. I need some good music. Ooh, bit of pendulum because I feel like feeling 20 again. 48 going on 20. I actually briefly met Pendulum once. It was at Glastonbury in maybe 2011, something like that. I was working backstage and I cleared out their dressing room and they were absolutely wasted. Right. Yeah. Affinity, I mean, obviously, I think it's fair to say they got most of us with that cheeky little 50% off everything, lifetime license. Good move, well played. But even better than that, going from Illustrator to Affinity is actually very seamless and intuitive in terms of keyboard shortcuts. And there's a lot of stuff that's different, but there's actually a lot of stuff that's very similar as well. So when I first opened Affinity, I had a quick kind of familiarization with the tools. And then I think, what did I do? I created the Affinity logo. That's this one up here. And the shape builder tool behaves a bit differently. So maybe we'll do that a bit later on, have a go at recreating that. That's the thing that I went through. And by the end of that, once I'd recreated the Affinity logo, that app icon, I was like, okay, I feel like I've got a pretty good handle on the tools now. So main selection tool up here, this is great for just selecting and moving. So if I just go and create a shape, you've got your rectangle and your ellipse tools, very, very standard stuff here. Hold shift. Scaling from the center, slightly different in Affinity. You hold command or control instead of alt or option. So that is one change. We can again scale from the center, rotate, very, very similar stuff. The rotation is in 15-degree increments, which is quite nice. So we don't have to just snap to 45. Now we can do 15, 30. And to me, that is a good addition. There's no reason why you wouldn't do that, to be honest. 45 is still very easily accessible. 30 and 15 is as well. So all this stuff is pretty straightforward. One of the main differences with Affinity, and this drove me insane, if you try and select both these shapes, it ain't selecting anything. Oh, there we go, got that one. In Affinity, you have to drag over the entire shape. So you see there, as soon as I drag over every little piece, it becomes highlighted blue. So there we go. That drove me nuts for a very long time. And then this one, what's this? The artboard tool. Yeah, so very similar to Illustrator. Make new artboards. And you can have multiple artboards in a single document, and then you can export artboards en masse as well, which again, is very easy once you know how, but this one confused me for a long time. But we'll come back to that later. But that is how to create different artboards. So you can have lots of different artboards. The snapping in Affinity is excellent. Look at all this. The snapping, even the way the anchor point, the smart guides fade in. They just fade. Look at it. Oh, just beautiful. It just feels nice to use. I'm going to get to the end of this 2 hours and be like fully converted, aren't I? I'm going to convert myself. So lots of different artboards. Here we've got the node tool. Now I'm pretty sure this is the direct selection tool equivalent. Yeah, so let's zoom in. Zoom tool, Z or Z on the keyboard, very, very similar to Illustrator. Right, how do we select anchor points? I got to remember now. Any Affinity users, help! So A. This is the hardest thing between Illustrator and Affinity, is these little differences. What about you? Ah, there we go. Okay, this is another thing that caught me out. If I go back a few steps. So at the moment, this is, I think, like a live shape. Yeah, so it's technically a rectangle and technically an ellipse. And I think you've got a few specific properties. There we go, to that shape. So we've got the corner controls here. We've also got a corner tool, which is a bit different. Although I think this is more of a destructive way of working. But essentially, this is kind of like Illustrator's live shape equivalent. So I can't actually go in and just muck around with the anchor points. However, if I convert this to curves, now it suddenly becomes a regular shape. Then I can direct selection tool, or in this case, node tool, to grab those points. Again, that confused me for a while. So you see here, this is an ellipse. I can convert it to a donut or a pie. Didn't even know I could do that, but yeah, there we go. Whoa, why not? Live shape. If I want to edit the individual points, I've got to, it's all the way over here. There we go, convert to curves. So a lot of your shape options, like the properties panel equivalent, go along the top. Convert to curves, boom. Now I can node tool everything. And then here, if we go, the corner tool, yeah. There we go. So then I can round off that corner radius. So slightly different because Illustrator doesn't have a corner tool. That is still fully adjustable. I think if I bake appearance, yep, there we go. It's baked in. I can't change that anymore, but I get the handles that I can play around with, so. Another one that, this is slightly different to Illustrator. It has that feature, but it doesn't have this tool. Is, what's this? The contour tool, I think? Yeah, there we go. And this lets you, effectively, this is a path offset. So Illustrator's doesn't have a tool for this, but it does have that feature. So basically, it just enables you to have like a path offset added to the shape. Can I then go in and select one? Oh, I see. So it adds the path offset and it still stays attached to that shape. So I'm still editing the geometry here. And I guess I can go back in and I could reduce that offset. So I could go and set it to 0, for example. Yeah, that's cool. So it's kind of like an editable path offset. I can go and edit it at any point, but then I can also bake in the appearance, and then that becomes my new shape. Pen tool, everyone's favorite. Hopefully it behaves similarly. you should be able to see a band here, but I can't see that. And we've got lots of options along the top, which can be overwhelming. Where's my rubber band? Oh, look at all these measurements and everything. So precise. Rubber band mode. That's what I want. So rubber band mode, turn that on at the top. That shows you what you're going to be creating next. And there it kind of lines up the 45-degree angle as well. So there's just a lot more information that this is giving us. There we go. And then with the node tool, we can go and then fine tune that horrific shape. In fact, we've got our stroke and our fill down here. So let's thicken up that stroke weight. There we go. Pencil tool. Great for drawing lines. Width. There we go. Now, smoothing. There we go. We've got smoothness, so we can crank this up. This is much more accessible. I don't have to double click into a pencil menu. It's just there along the top. Stabilizer. I feel like, yeah, there we go. Smoothness. I'd like to get it a bit smoother. This can help, I think. You see, it's kind of dragging the pencil. Yeah, not too bad. Sculpt is a lot more predictable, so you can actually hover over the path. And if I like redraw this here, it's going to redraw that path. Now this works a lot more reliably because rather than just clicking and dragging in, sometimes it resculpts, sometimes it doesn't. If you look really closely here, running the pen tool along the path, it kind of creates a little line that spans the width of that stroke. So that means that if I click now, it's 100% going to resculpt it. Whereas if I were to click like over here, you know, I've just missed it basically. So in Illustrator, you can spend like a bit of time resculpting something and then you realize that it didn't, yeah, it does like that. And then you have to try it again. Whereas here, you can definitely see that you've got it kind of on the path. So that is the pencil tool. What on earth is this? Oh, width tool. There we go. Yeah, stroke width tool. Slightly more recent addition. Functions very similar. You can taper off points and adjust the stroke weight at different points. Very responsive as well. Yeah, really cool. What are you? Vector brush tool. We've got brushes over here. So we don't have a properties inspector like Illustrator, but we've got layers, which functions a bit more like Photoshop actually, the layers in Affinity. We've got vector brushes. And I should be able to select these and change them. There we go. Yeah. And these are great, you know, you can change the width. You see it's rasterized there, and when you let go, it just kind of updates. And this, I love this. It's just easily organized. I don't have to go into like folders and menus and load libraries and have more panels, all that crap. It's just, I want acrylics. There you go. There's your acrylics. Scroll them, nice and easy. Make changes, and you see the changes to the brush happen in real time as well. Yeah, back to a pen, boom. Brush pen, just super responsive. Knife tool, okay. Not something I use a lot in Illustrator, but How do we do straight cuts? Okay, hold shift, makes sense. Diagonal cut, yep. So hold shift, click drag, and you can just slice it up into different pieces. I think that works different to Illustrator's knife tool, actually. That's, yeah, it's just super easy. Okay, right. We've got the Vector Flood Fill Tool. This is kind of like Live Paint Bucket. Although it doesn't make it like a live paint group or anything weird like that. It's just, hey, you've got a shape, we'll just plop some color in there. You've got your color wheel up here, which is it's different. You can set this up in Photoshop, the triangular color wheel, but it is quite nice as well. You know, these 3 points of the triangle, one is saturation, I think one is like desaturating over here, and the other one is like along this edge is the lightness. So lighter, darker, more saturated, less saturated. And then you just pick the hue around the outside. It's a bit weird if you've not used it before, but I quite like it. You can turn it on in Photoshop as well. Oh, question, sorry. Chinmay says, Affinity works flawlessly on both Mac and Windows, keeps me in the design mood. While with Adobe, I find myself scrolling on social media, opening tabs while Adobe does its thing of being slow. Yes, I managed to catch the live. Hey, well done. I don't know why they don't make it default somehow. Make what default? Sorry, Asme, I think I might have missed that. Doesn't respond to pen pressure for mine for some reason. Give me a sec. I'll hook up my tablet because I've not really messed around with the pen display. So I'll hook that up and see if I can get it working. All right. Hang on. I've got to navigate around a microphone and a coffee here. You've got to make sure we don't have Coffeegate 2.0. Ah. That was mine and the cat's fault, to be fair. Although he's lurking. I can see him. He's lurking. Right. A cable. That would be very useful. There's a cable. Oh, key to the key. All right, bear with. Let's plug you in. Let's turn you on. Also, just a heads up that on Thursday we're going to be doing a Premiere Pro stream, similar to this, but an introduction to Premiere. So if you kind of want to work with Premiere and integrate that and start making video, or kind of integrate After Effects or Photoshop with Premiere as part of your workflow, that is on Thursday. Right, let's open up XP Pen. All right. Okay, pen pressure. So, is that with the brush tool, I'm guessing? Right, that's not got any... Okay, so controller. This is where it should change. Light, hard. Yeah, there we go. So for me, it's literally that easy. You just change it to pen pressure as the controller. And then I'm just pressing gently for like lots of light strokes. And then a bit harder for chunky strokes. Well, Dansky, you've made my life hell. I thought that's what you said. I was reading that like, wait, what? Seeing Affinity in action, I need to make the move and give a particular finger to another company. I can, what company might that be? Yeah, I think as well. If anyone and Reese, or if anyone is thinking of jumping over and trying out Affinity, um, and you get stuck, just throw a question in the community in the Discord. There's a link if you want to join that in the stream description. Because I've been through that process of like, how the hell do I do the thing in Affinity that I do in Illustrator? And I've done the Googling, and some of this is a bit of a refresher for me now, but there's a lot of things that I've banged my head against the wall, so you don't have to. So if you do get stuck, just ask. There is a chance I'll be able to help. So yeah, I think when it comes to, I mean, I don't know much about um, specific jobs looking for both roles, but to actually be able to introduce a bit of animation to your static design work in After Effects, you don't need to know an awful lot. I think a lot of the time, unless you're going to go into motion graphics, which of course After Effects is just an insane playground of toys and things you can do. It's so powerful. But to actually just be able to animate some logos, animate some slides, presentations, you're just changing position, scale, opacity, doing basic animation and getting it looking good is not too difficult for After Effects. Like if you follow any of my Instagram stuff, you might see me animating some of my photo manipulation work. That sort of stuff is not complicated. Like I'm not an After Effects wizard, definitely not. But I know enough that I can use it to enhance what I do. Oh my god, design, video, and UX UI in one. No. Yeah, it's good. It's good for the beginning of YouTube videos as well, making an animation to kind of show what you're going to teach. That's where I've found it very useful. So, oh, right. The gradient tool. Photoshop's had its gradient tool buff. Illustrator needs it as well. It's just so flipping nice. Look at it. Same shortcut as well. G. I mean, you don't need any more. Midpoint, either endpoints, add a point. How do you delete a point? Oh, I know. I don't know how to delete one. Delete. Oh yeah, you just click delete. And then just change the color from over here. There we go. A horrific looking gradient. Let's move this over here so we can see what awful gradient I'm creating. Ugh. But you see how responsive it is. It's just Illustrator needs this. Photoshop has got something like this, but it's just so flipping smooth. Now, gradient type. We've got infinitely more types as well. I mean, come on. Okay, elliptical. So I'm guessing this is your radial gradient. I think. Yeah, there we go. And the award for world's best gradient goes to. Yeah, it's just flipping easy. It's just so easy and enjoyable to use. A few other little settings there. And now, how do we go transparent? Easy opacity slider there. So if we wanted a linear gradient, we'll just go linear. I mean, come on. That's transparent now as well, so. How do we send things in front and behind? Arrange. What's the shortcut? Oh, I thought there was a shortcut. There needs to be a shortcut. No, there's definitely a shortcut. These curves, by the way, all these layers called curves, they're just essentially like a path or a shape. Kind of just like a nothing, an ordinary shape made up of points. Yeah, there we go. Same shortcuts. I thought I was going mad then. Oh, right, there we go. Okay, so it is on top. All right, yep. No, I'm just being an idiot. That's good. I was just trying to see the transparency in action. There we go. Haha. We should have a Dansky Awards in the community. Yeah, but what's the metric? How do we measure this? How do we decide who wins? Okay. Oh, we'll get to all the stuff along the top. That is just ridiculously easy. But we will get to that in a sec. Place tool. This is just gonna open up a window and you can place a picture. Crop. Is that cropping? I'm guessing that's for images. Oh, I need to actually place something to try that out. Hey, there we go. Got a screenshot of my face. Excellent. Oh, I see what you're saying. Sorry, James. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so these are how you kind of move things backwards and forwards. I use the keyboard shortcuts, but they're there if you need them. Oh God, I look like such an idiot. Right. Okay, so crop. So why is my croppiness out there? So let's crop that in. Okay, so it does it. Okay, that's good. So it does remember that there is more image. So it's not like a permanent crop, which is what Illustrator does, I think. That's why I never use the crop thing. Ah, clipping masks. This was a tricky one, but is really easy. So hang on, let me place. Where's that thing gone? There we go. We'll get a different one. So we'll just drag it in, scale it up, and we've got more shapes here. I mean, look at all these shapes. Illustrator needs this. I mean, a lot of this stuff is relatively easy to create, but why would you not have stuff like this? Star tool. Shift X to swap the fill and the stroke. And we set that to none up there. It's very similar to Illustrator. It's just a lot of stuff in a different place. So I want to put the image inside the star. Now, if I remember rightly, what you do is you just drag this into there in the layers panel, and it will effectively use the star as a mask. There we go. It's kind of annoying. It doesn't. Ah, there we go. Yeah, yeah. Does that make sense, or do you want me to demo that again? It's a bit. Yeah, so I'm trying to tap it here, and it's not clicking anything. If you do get that, just select it in the layers panel. Hey Dansky, odds this can actually compete with Adobe. It depends how, in terms of what you mean, can it compete with Adobe? Because at the minute, the Adobe software, especially Photoshop and Illustrator, is industry standard. You know, it's like a lot of companies have it. It's just the one they use. So a lot of jobs say, can you, you need to be able to use this software. In terms of technically, can this compete with Illustrator? Yeah, 100%. 100%. Before, when it didn't have the shape builder tool, the width tool, I'd have said, nah, I need those tools. But they've been very smart and they've been adding a lot of things that Illustrator can do. Do I need live trace? No, not really. Is it useful? Yeah, but do I need it? No. Do I need the mesh tool? No. Oh, there's so many different things I don't really need. Like I could, in fact, this is what I'm planning on doing soon. Actually, I was going to do it today, but I thought I'd just focus on the basics. Is I want to have a go at challenging myself to do a full design, start to finish, in Affinity Designer. And I think by doing that, you'll see that it's very capable of just doing everything you'd need it to do. You know, it depends. I think if I was freelancing still, just working for clients, I probably would have switched to save the money, especially for like a small business. It would just make so much sense from a business point of view. Just looking at the annual cost, the cost going out um, versus just paying a one-time thing. It's kind of different for me because I teach Adobe as well. I've always taught Adobe. I've always been Adobe. So I'm probably, as long as I'm teaching still, that's probably what I'm going to keep using. So I'm probably the wrong person to ask. But I think if you're like a small business and you're not really using those additional features that they've got, then I'd probably switch. If you're going to be doing video work, like a good combination for small businesses would be like Affinity Designer Publisher Photo, and then you've got DaVinci Resolve or like your Premiere Pro equivalent. And DaVinci's good. DaVinci's good and it's free, which is just utterly insane. I don't know how that's free. I did use that for a bit as well. But for me, because I do so many different types of things, I design and I teach and I edit and whatever. Like having Premiere, After Effects, Illustrator, Photoshop all playing nicely together, it kind of works for me. I'm not doing anything completely outrageously crazy. And it just kind of does what I need to, so I can write off that monthly subscription as a business expense. But and I teach it as well, so it kind of makes sense to stick with Adobe. That's a really good question. Yeah, does anyone know of a good After Effects alternative? Doing like motion graphic stuff in DaVinci is a bit weird. It's not. I didn't really like it. It's kind of done with nodes, and I found it very confusing. What is Adobe Experience Manager? I've heard it before, but oh, is there not? Ah, there's a platform I was looking at the other day, Unicorn.studio. That's something that Elaine told me about. And there's another platform that I've used called Spline. Now they do 3D graphics, but they've just brought out something called Hannah. In fact, I'll type these in the chat if you do want to check them out. So, um, unicorn.studio. Really cool for kind of animating your existing work with VFX and things. And then there's one called Hannah, which is by Spline as well. So they did the 3D thing before, and so there's a lot of 3D stuff, but now they're doing 2D, and it's very easy to animate stuff in Hannah, which is interesting. So I think sometimes there's little animations you want to add. I'm probably going to try and experiment with adding some stuff to my site. So taking just icons and trying to animate them in really simple ways. Because when you open up After Effects, it's like, poof, like it can be like a lot. It can be very overwhelming. Kind of like Blender. Blender's great for 3D, but it's again just so overwhelming when you first open it up. So having software that can do animation that with a clean, simple UI is just, it makes it so much easier to learn. You can learn it in like 10, 20 minutes. Both of those platforms definitely have that. That landing page is sick. Ooh, what landing page? Is that unicorn.studio? Oh, okay. Oh, no, I've not used Framer. No, the reason I've not used Framer, Reese, is just because I'm fully into Webflow now. I've just rebuilt my whole site. I would love to have a look at it, but I just don't think I can bear moving my whole site over. I've just finished the sales pages again for the courses, so I don't think I'm mentally there yet. But it sounds like they're making good moves. It sounds pretty cool. Everything I hear is usually like Framer, Framer, Framer. Okay, Alex, I didn't understand any of that. I don't know what a DAM server and an AEM is, but sorry. Look, come on, I make shapes for a living, all right? We're at squares and stars here. Speak to me like I'm five. Read my comments, you coward. Oh, spicy. I've got to find your comment now. Let's have a look. Oh, where are you? Oh, there is no comment. Oh, that's disappointing. Oh, there is no comment. Ah, well. Never mind, you can piss off anyway. Bye. Meh. Anyway, where were we? Star. So yeah, just drag your image inside the star into that shape. I'll do it again, actually, because it can be a bit confusing. Ooh. Let's go with a cloud. There we go. Very fluffy. Again, all these shapes, they're like live shapes, so they're fully customizable. Oh, I just love it. So good. Right, we've got our image here. So, unless there is another way to do this that I'm not aware of. The layers panel in Affinity Photo and Designer does confuse me a little bit. I don't know why. I feel like it shouldn't be difficult. Uh, yeah, there's another way to mask as well. So if I've got this shape on top, do I right click? Ah, no, I think it's the other way around. So, right. So in Illustrator, where you create a clipping mask, you would typically put your shape on top. So this would be your shape. You want to crop this image inside that shape. Affinity Designer is the other way around. So we have the shape on the bottom, and then we have the image on top. And then I'm pretty sure, let's just go and make another shape. I think that shape is kind of, let's get them right next to each other in the layers panel. There's like a mask to below option. Is it that one? No, where is it? Oh no. There we go. Yeah, so you have the shape that you want to put it inside underneath, and then you just select the top one, mask to below, and what it will do is then use that below shape as a mask. No? Hang on, have I put it the wrong way around? Let's try again. Hang on. There we go. Okay, no, right. Okay, forget that. It's the same as Adobe. So you have your shape here. So if I wanted to put me inside a flower, put the flower on top, and instead of just selecting both of them, you just select the flower thing, and then it will mask whatever is underneath. So in this case, it's the photo. I'm in the flower. There we go. And then that will move around as a group or a mask. And then we can expand it here if I want to then go in and change the properties of that mask specifically. So that is another way of masking as well. And that's kind of got a layer mask attached. Let's go and get another image. And we'll add a normal color for now. Yeah, so that's one way. The other way is just to drag this layer into the thumbnail specifically, and you can see it then creates a mask that way. So two different ways of masking, and if you do struggle to select it, like I'm just clicking on it here, that should select it for me, but it isn't. I don't know why. Just select it in the layers panel, and there you go. You've got your controls. So yeah, hopefully that's going to help people if you get stuck on masking. Right, done shapes, shape builder tool. Okay, we'll do the text tool first. Pretty straightforward. You've got all your properties along the top here, and mine don't fit on, so there's a few more on the end. We'll come back to the shape builder tool because we're going to actually use that to make something. Yeah, this is all pretty straightforward. Again, Command or Control instead of Alt or Option to scale from the center. Fonts over here. I'm pretty sure you get a live preview. Yep, perfect. Eyedropper tool. So again, it should be I on the keyboard, I think. Same key, samples the color. And then down here, these two here, which zoom tool is very useful. And then the hand tool, just use spacebar instead of H. This is how I move around. So spacebar to click and drag to move around. Z or Z to zoom in or out. Super responsive. So those are the tools. If we go along the top, let's just make a few shapes. And we'll throw down a color. There we go, got some clouds. These ones here will determine which shape is in front versus behind. What have we got here? Pixel view mode. So obviously this is vector software, but you can view it as pixels if you want. Retina pixel, so you got normal pixel and then high res displays. I'm pretty sure that's wireframe mode. So Command or Control Y, just like Illustrator's outline mode. And what have we got here? Reflect. Let's grab a shape that's, there we go, crescent. So we'll go reflect vertically or horizontally. Rotate 90 degrees, I think. Yeah. Here we've got loads of grid snapping settings. So this one is, what are you? Okay, that forces pixel alignment. So we're snapping to the pixel, which is great. Move by whole pixels. So you can really work with pixel perfect precision. So if I go and create a shape now and try and zoom in and resize this, you can see everything is just snapping to the nearest pixel. In fact, how do I change my document units? There we go. You see, it's just so intuitive. Pixels. Ah, 33.1. So you're not snapped. But if I do set that to the whole pixel and try and change it now, it shouldn't. Okay, it's still adding a decimal point. So we've got lots of different settings in here. Oh, unless it's... Oh, this is good. Wow. Pixel work. That's cool. Oh, unless it means moving by whole pixel. Although it... I see. There we go. There we go. Yeah, so watch this. If I go and set this, I'll round this to like a whole pixel number. You see there the X and Y? No decimal point. If I move this around now, with this enabled, it's just going to keep it to no decimal point. If I turn this option off, it will let me move it very freely, but it won't have that pixel snapping precision. So does that apply to resizing though? Yes, it does. Okay. There we go. So yeah, really useful for working with a bit more precision. Ooh, auto select objects. Up here, we've got your Boolean operations, your Pathfinder panel, essentially. So let's go back and use my clouds. So we'll create a few copies. Again, if you want to create a copy, dragging with Alt or Option does not work. It's Command or Control instead. So that is the main difference here. So this one here, first option will combine both shapes together. Second option will subtract the top shape from the bottom shape. Now this one here is going to keep where they intersect. So this little segment here where the shapes overlap, that's going to be kept. The next one is usually called XOR. What the hell is that? What the fuck is a XOR? Okay, normally that's called exclude or exclude overlap. I don't know what XOR is, but that's going to get rid of the overlap. And the last one is divide. Illustrator does have a lot more Pathfinder options, but to be honest, I never use most of them. Affinity is not free, but it is a one-time purchase. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Down here, there's directions of what you can do to click things. So if I've selected the pencil tool, there's a lot of things that say what to do. So I can draw, and then I can hold Command or Control and grab the node tool, edit, continue the shape, move, move. Complete. So yeah, definitely worth paying attention to the bottom there. I mean, the attention to detail on the UI is good as well. I mean, just look at this, just this little detail. You see the text down here at the bottom of the screen? It's centrally aligned in that space. It's not like wonky or off center. The attention to detail on the UI here is like pretty much pixel perfect. And I love that so much. I'm not sure what these do. What's this? Insert behind the selection. What does that mean? If I select them both. Oh, I know what that is, of course. So yeah, so if I have this shape here, and if I grab my pencil tool, I can draw inside the selection. Here's my color picker. And now I think if I just do this, Yeah, you see it only goes inside. What's this one here? Insert behind, insert at the top of the layer. So it's just depends on how you want to create things. So um, let's say I'll do a circle. And if I then go and grab the heart tool and then choose this one, when I go and make another shape, no, that's weird. Holding shift makes the heart a bit rubbish. It's not really very good. There we go. Yeah, so you'll see it makes it inside that shape. So it kind of already crops it inside. And we can duplicate with Command or Control J? No? Yes, Command or Control J. There we go. So I could fill this with lots of different hearts. And then I think if I click here, there we go, I come out of it. So it's kind of like this is the sort of group, well, like acting like a mask effectively. So I should be able to double click to go inside that. Yeah, there we go. And then you can see all the different hearts and then the group that they are contained inside. Is this helpful? Hopefully this is helpful. Yes, exactly. It's like a clipping mask. I don't know. I'm not sure where Raquel is today. I wonder if she's hiding. Right. What are you up here? Oh yeah, that's just yeah. That's just your account. And then over here, this stuff's all pretty straightforward. Color, where you have your color wheel, opacity, swatches, lots of preset swatches. These are good. You've got Pantones. Unlike Illustrator, we still have Pantones here. Gradients. Oh, hello. Gradients, grays, colors, all very easy to kind of filter out. Stroke properties that you can also access up here. Appearance. This isn't quite as powerful as the appearance panel in Illustrator. In fact, I'm not really entirely sure what you use this for. Yeah, I mean, you can stack multiple fills and strokes on a shape, but you don't have all the effects and things. But to be honest, a lot of the time I just keep this on color. Stroke is all up here anyway if you need it. So you've got layers. We've got brushes, which you've looked at. Quick effects. These are kind of cool. These are like your layer styles and blending options in Photoshop. So we've got a bevel. We've got like an outline or a stroke. 3D. Inner shadow. So you can turn these on or off, or you can click on the cog and you basically get like a layer styles window pop up. And you can scale the effects with the object here as well. So gradient overlay, 3D. Lighting direction. So yeah, this is kind of cool. You can't really do this in Illustrator. And outer shadow. Yeah, that's your drop shadow. And then, yeah, you can see them here. You got the effects icon. You got effects down here as well, layer effects. I swear there's a way to hide the effects, but can't remember what it is. Hey, Gaurav, I'm good, thank you. Quick effects. Oh, we've done that already. And then styles. So these are your layer styles. I think, yeah, these are ones I created. Yeah, add new category. So these, if you're going to reuse styles across multiple documents. So for a while I had these gradients, as you can see here, so I can just click on them. That applies a specific gradient. I think these might be character styles as well. So let's type some text and click on them. Think, yeah. Yeah, so they're character styles as well. So they're effectively like colors, character styles, just things you're going to reuse. You can store all of it here under like a library into, yeah, there we go. And it just makes it super easy. So if I've got like, you know, a bunch of Dansky branded stuff, I'd have all my Dansky fonts, my Dansky gradients, all that in here. And I can just click and then boom, it's applied whatever document I'm working on. Right. Okay, transform. We've kind of covered this already. You've got your X and Y position, width and height, rotate angle, skew angle. So you can skew things like this. Navigator, if you want to use that. And then history, if you want to jump back in time or jump forward if you did make a mistake. There's quite a lot of history here, actually. I wonder how far back this goes. Does this go? This goes right back to the beginning, I think. Goodness me. Let's not undo everything. And then Command or Control 0 gives me like a view of all my artboards, which is quite handy. Obviously, you can see I've made a complete mess. To be honest, a lot of the time when I'm working in this, I'm just staying in color and layers. So you don't need to worry about a lot of this unless you need to use it. Yes, I'm stealing my own content. I'm impersonating me. Yeah, so what I've done is I've got a second channel, Dansky Live, where all the live streams are going to live on that channel. So I'm still doing it on the main channel now, just because that's where everyone follows me. But then on the second channel, I'm going to re-upload this afterwards. So if you want to catch this, he's a clone, yeah. Other Dansky, yeah. Report him. No, please don't.
It's me.
Yeah, it's Poppy. Yeah, so if you want to catch this up and have a quick refresher later on, then it'll be on that other channel, Dansky Live. I think it's linked in the stream description. It should be, unless I've screwed up, which is statistically quite likely. I haven't even mentioned the courses today.
Oh, Dan.
Do you promote an Adobe Photoshop or Illustrator course in an Affinity designer stream, or is that going to fragment the universe somehow?
No.
Yes, I do. Okay, so the second channel is linked in the stream description. I will probably start streaming on that channel at some point once there's like enough people following on that one. But for now, I'm just gonna stream on the main channel, re-upload on there. Right. Okay. Oh. What is that? Are you farming me for content? Are you poking me while I'm live to make content?
Yeah.
Who's this content for?
For you. should have gone for orange, shouldn't I?
Orange
I
what?
mean, it's not minus Eli's. Sorry, you're right.
Sorry, I just joined. Oh goodness, you just joined and Poppy's poking me in the face with a giant finger.
Oh, sorry.
Oh dang, not the eyes. Oh, my eyes. Yes, exactly. Yeah, Affinity Designer is like the equivalent to Illustrator. Actually, before we jump in and do something, there's one more thing I've got to show you, and that is you have these things called personas. I hate the terminology because it confused the hell out of me. Persona. It's just anyway. So we're in the designer persona. This is the pixel persona. Ugh, persona. It's not exactly Affinity Photo, which is the Photoshop equivalent, but you do get a lot of those tools. So if I'm working in Designer and I'm like, I want to do a bit of photo work, I want to do some brush stuff, blah, blah, blah. You do have all of these tools. Yeah, paintbrush tool. You're gonna, oh, do I need to make a new layer? Oh, this is another thing that drove me insane. Right. There's layers and then there's pixel layers. So with layers, you can add stuff to them, I think. Yeah, there we go. That's all on a layer. A pixel layer is kind of like a rasterized layer. That's what you need to be able to draw, I think. Let me make that a bit bigger. I think I've got that. Yeah, there we go. So you see there, I've got a pixel layer. If I try and draw on a regular layer, I don't think it's going to work. No. Yeah, it gets rid of my colors. It's a bit weird. So, if you're trying to draw something and you can't, you might have to, if I take this heart, for example, you might have to convert it to a pixel layer. Maybe rasterize? Yeah, you see there? It's got like the grid. Yeah. So that's now a pixel layer. So I can edit that and draw on it and scribble on it like I would in Photoshop. I guess the equivalent is trying to create a live shape in Photoshop and then draw on it with a brush tool. You can't do it. You've got to rasterize the shape first. Isn't that how the system that can render know the sorry, I misread that. Dansky, isn't that how the system that can render know the vector v raster? Isn't that how the system that can render know the vector v? Sorry, Reese, I haven't quite understood that one, I'm afraid. Oh yeah, 100%. Affinity's amazing. It's so good. I was just like, I was like, what? Speak to me like I'm 5. So yeah, these are very similar to Photoshop. You know, you got your selection tool. Ooh, speedy marching ants. Um, yeah. What's this? About a blur tool. Yeah, so on pixel layers, I can like just do anything really, like Photoshop. What's that? Sharpen. Is that smudge? Yeah. So it's not full Photoshop, but if you need to do some raster work or a bit of image editing, or we've got adjustments down here. We didn't even cover that, did we? So I've made a squiggle. We've got an adjustment here, and I could do a gradient map. And mask that to the below. There we go. So this gradient map will now only affect the squiggle. Let's do a different one. Release. Yeah, the thing. The layers does get a bit confusing. And you see my transform panel has my transform controls have disappeared. That's one thing I've noticed. So I wouldn't say it's totally bug free because my transform controls have completely gone. Unless I've done something that I'm not aware of. Release. Oh, there we go. Just get rid of that. Yeah, so I don't know why my transform controls have disappeared. No, I'm pretty sure that's a bug. We'll save, we'll close, and we'll open it back up, and then we'll see if that is a bug. Yeah, okay, that's a bug. Oh, goodness me. So, where are you in my layers panel? Oh, see that? There we go. Okay. So if I want to add an adjustment here, let's go and do curves. I get my curves adjustment. It's not really going to make a difference to this. There we go. Let's go and do it on this example. Where's the picture of me? There we go. Black and white. And then we'll mask that to the below and it should attach itself. Yeah, there we go. So it's attached to that layer. Can I do multiple ones? Let's do another adjustment layer. I should be able to. Posterize. Mask to below. Yeah, so it kind of just stacks the adjustment layers in a row. And then you can expand it down and these are all the adjustment layers that are affecting this image. So it's a little bit different to Photoshop on that. A bit weird. Takes a bit of getting used to. Hey, Raquel. How's it going? So that's something that's difficult to understand. I feel like it shouldn't be, but I found it a bit hard. Hide and show, lock, unlock. So yeah, I think that would be so easy. Just spend a bit of time with it. I think you'll get familiar with it. I think I would as well. These tools are very similar to Affinity Photo. And then export here is the kind of how you can export slices and artboards. So here what I could do is I could select one of these. In fact, I think, yeah, so this is kind of like a, let's have a look. This is kind of like a list of things you're going to export. Yeah, so in terms of artboards. So if I delete that and how did I get this in there in the first place? It's weird. It's like you have to add it as a slice, but that's not really what I want. And the selection tool changes. This is all a bit weird, this bit. Okay, right. So this is how you export individual artboards. You grab this one and just pick the artboard you want. So this one here, and then just pick a preset. So I'm just going to go with single PNG or a JPEG, whatever. And it adds it as a slice. You can queue this up so we could do multiple ones of these. And then you can see I've got two slices queued for export. This top one is just the main document. There's a few settings here that I could tinker with. If I go and click this now, it's just going to export both of those entire artboards. You can go and draw slices if you want to export specific areas. but just selecting the artboard and then picking a preset, that will add the entire artboard. And that's a great way that you can export like a bunch of JPEGs if you want. Okay. I wish they'd fix the extension name, make it design AF. Much better. Right. Does anyone have any questions just before we move on and actually go and try and make something? I feel like that's like a super speedy walkthrough of pretty much the whole interface. And has that been helpful? Rakelski. Can you somehow put objects around the artboard, like in AI? Oof. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, you can add a shape and fit it to the side and control the stroke and align the stroke to the inside. So I think if you were doing it on like a stroke level, you could have a dashed line, or what's this? Textured line style? Whatever that means. So if you wanted it like a frame, you could do something like that on the stroke level. But I'm not sure if that's what you meant. Hey, Marlon. How's it going? Rakeli. Okay. New document time. Right, we're going to do an icon. Right, we're going to go web. I like me some pixels. Kjøfferhøyde. Let's go with that. Actually, I'm just going to give myself all the pixels in the world. There we go. Right, so now I'm going to create the Affinity logo. So let's just grab a good shot of that. And we'll demo the shape builder tool as well. This was the first proper thing I made with Affinity, so. Okay, click and drag, holding shift. Corner radius. Okay, we'll change the type to round, control it there. That looks pretty good. Okay, how the flippin' heck did I make the middle bit? We should probably do this linear for now, just so I can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm guessing I probably want to do like an offset with the contour tool. Or maybe let's duplicate it first, then we'll do an offset. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So I've got a separate. Yeah. And we'll convert that one to curves, just so I can shape builder tool it. And we'll lock the outside one for now. Right. What's the best way to do this? Hey, Stokesy. Yeah, this will be after the stream here. It will be live on the Dansky Live channel later on. So there's a link to that second channel where all the streams live in the description. Okay, let's go and have a play. So we're going to add a line here. And then we're going up. What's the angle on this? Something like that. I wish it would remember the properties, and it's not sampling the properties. That's kind of annoying. I've got this line selected. I'm trying to sample the style picker. I wonder if that's gonna... Ah, there we go. That's good. Right, so you've got a color picker and a style picker. Ah, that's cool. If you press I twice, you cycle between them. That is handy. Yeah, that's cool. Oh no. I thought it cycled between them. How the hell did I do that? Very strange. Okay. Ah, how do we connect anchor points? Right, let's select both shapes, drag over these points. There's an option here to connect them. Join curves. It adds a fill, we'll get rid of that. So this should, there we go. So we've got the join option up there. And then I'm gonna duplicate this one, get rid of this point here, flip this horizontally and use this to make the shorter one. I think I've actually got that slightly off. So we're gonna move these two. Try and make it a bit more triangular. One, two, three. It's a bit tall at the minute. One, two, three. There we go. Just trying to make this bit here a little bit more of like an equilateral triangle. Right. And then the same angle. So I want to kind of match that angle there. So we'll drag with Command or Control. Go into outline mode, Command or Control Y. I'm going to try and line this up. So, oh, I mean, just look at it. It just snaps on its own. Oh, I guess I've got the pixel snapping turned on. So that is flipping helpful. And then let's just move this to the right. It's not quite in the middle, is it? It's slightly off. Could even scale it down a pinch. And the stroke weight. Let's go for 20, I think. Right. Oh man, how did I create this? I'm not sure how to adjust the length of that while keeping it at the same angle. Unless, can I shape builder tool you? Ah, there we go. Nice. That's good. So let's see if I can click to cut. Very good. Okay. And we'll change the stroke cap to, yeah. Okay. Swap that to, we'll swap you to a grey. Actually, no. We'll just change it to the color it's going to be. And then this one here, we're going to swap you. So these are going to be our colors. It's going to make life a bit easier, I think. So yeah, this is actually, no, this is not too bad. Let's move that over. One thing I find really difficult is I'm so used to keyboard shortcuts, and like here, I'm just selecting and deleting, and it's getting rid of both of them. It's just little things that I'm just not used to the way it works. Like here, I'm holding shift, but it's not snapping as reliably as the Illustrator. Oh, this is quite good actually. Yeah, I don't want to change the angle. It could just be there's a lot of things I'm very used to with Illustrator, and so as soon as anything, I work very fast with keyboard shortcuts, so as soon as anything is slightly different to what I'm used to, I kind of have a bit of a fit and go, "Ugh, I don't know, it's confusing." So maybe I think it's probably just me. Yeah, that one's kind of a bit rounder than a point, but oh, it's the join here. So join, join, join. That corner, how do I make that perfectly sharp? The join is set to mitre join. That's what I need. Is that all right? It doesn't look like a... Hmm. That's all right. We'll come back to that. Okay, let's grab this. Yeah, there we go. So it looks like crap, obviously, but we're just getting the main shape in. A rounded off bit there. We're nearly done, actually. Let's save because I'm sure I can mess it up. At the moment, we need to actually convert all these strokes to outlines. How do we expand? No, no, no. Where is the expand option? Expand stroke, there we go. Okay, cool. Shape with a fill. Boolean here, add to combine them together. So that's now one clean shape. And this as well. We can combine all that together. Oh no, we can't, can we? No, what we do is we expand the stroke for that one. And we can knock it out of the blue one. Yeah, there we go. And then we'll knock out this one from the blue one as well. So subtract, and we should be left with some clean shapes. So no more strokes, just shapes of fills, and then we should be able to go in here, grab the contour shape, round off that. Now these points here, now I've got the geometry, so I should, I'm hoping I can bring these together. Oh no, the geometry is a bit winky wonky. How am I going to do that? We could try and fudge it. Where's my rubber band? There we go. Is that lining up the angle? Oh yeah, look at that. That's right, this is good. So it's lining up the angle, I think. It looks pretty accurate. Yep, that looks pretty good. It keeps making, if you make strokes and there's nothing there, it seems to like getting rid of the fill. So I guess I'm just gonna have to get used to that. Right, we'll make another one down here. I'm gonna use this. Sorry, I'm not checking the chat very often. I am intensely focused right now. Hey, you're welcome, Reese. Catch you later, man. Yeah, just remember it'll be on the Dansky Live channel. Thanks for that. Yeah. James has made the switch. I think a few people have. 5th place. Yeah, the contour tool. Is this a better alternative? It depends what you're looking for. It's such a hard question to answer. When someone says to me, is it better than Adobe or which is best? I'm always thinking like on a technical level. It depends on what type of jobs you're going for, where you are in the world. You know, the kind of people that you'd be looking to get a job with as a designer or whatever. What software are they requiring you to know? Are they a company that use Adobe? Do they use Affinity? You know, like if you said to me, Dan, you have to run a freelance design business and create work for clients and you can only use Affinity, I would be fine with that. That's one way that I would put it. It's a bit difficult for me though, because I obviously teach Adobe on an Adobe YouTube channel. So it's kind of, and I've been using the software for 20 years. So whilst there's lots of things I love about Adobe and I wish, lots of things I love about Affinity that I wish would be brought over to the Adobe stuff, because I know Adobe like the back of my hand. It's easy for me to use. But if I had to use Affinity, which I'm going to start doing on some projects soon live, because it's going to force me to have to get to grips with it, I would be fine. I really would. Hey Lawrence, how's it going? Exactly, yeah. We switched our agency and so far it's been great. Yeah. I think if the whole agency's on it, like you're golden. Right, so shape builder tool, which is S, alter option, click. Yeah, see, I could never get that to work before. I think they've changed that since. It's really, they've definitely made some updates to the shape builder tool. And then we can select these points. We can join them here. Yeah, there's a lot of things in Illustrator that you'd have like the object menu at the top, and there would be 50,000 things in there. I feel like their menus are a lot leaner. Obviously, there's fewer features as well, but their menus are a lot leaner. But they've got their sort of properties panel runs across the top here. So whatever you do or select or whatever, you get properties for that running across the top. It does keep their UI very clean and simple, considering what it can actually do. Okay, now what we've got to do is close this shape. So I could select these 2 points, join them, Shift X, just swap that stroke to a fill. And then basically all I've done is this. And the snapping features have made that pixel perfect. And then if I select that and this, I should be able to knock them out. Yeah, there we go. Subtract. And there we go. We've kind of cleaned up that shape. But we need to add a gradient. So let's grab this color here. And we're just going to grab the Lush gradient tool. There's a transparency tool under there as well, which is great if you want to run to transparency. We're just going to go there. Bottom left, we've got the color. Top right, we're going to paste in the same color. And then just brighten up. I think it's like a little bit brighter, something like that. Just have that up there. It's really, yeah, it's quite subtle. I think actually I might just make mine a bit more exaggerated. Ever so slightly. Yeah. Lovely gradient. Cool. Yeah, pretty good. Happy with that. And we can group that together. Call it logo. I'm going to duplicate it and hide that just in case I do screw something up. With the whole group selected, we could actually apply some effects now. We could try 3D. See what this does. Radius. It's kind of cool, actually. It's sort of similar to a bevel and emboss, but just a little bit better, like around the edges. It could just give it quite a nice effect. Just like a little bit of a bevel, you know? Oh, let's make it shiny. Oh, not that shiny. Yeah, it's kind of cool, actually. You can add light sources as well. So let's try adding a second light. We'll add like a fill light, maybe. And how do I... Azimuth. I don't know what an azimuth is, but... How do I dial down the fill light intensity? Because I can choose between the light sources, but I can't seem to adjust the brightness. Maybe we'll just have one. Ooh, let's do a gradient overlay. Nice. Angle, where are we going? 45, blend mode. Huh. Okay, maybe not. Gaussian blur. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, much easier to blur things. Right, let's add a nice little backdrop or something. Actually, I'm going to give this one a color as well, a gradient. Let's just do that, top to bottom. Oh, actually, that's quite nice. Yeah, there we go. And then maybe a light background. Dark to light, maybe slightly darker. Maybe not that dark. Eyedropper tool. Oops. Oof, why is that changing? Oh, is it? Yeah, it's just little things like this when you're trying to do stuff that you're familiar with how one software works. So I'm clicking eyedropper tool. Oh, is that the sampled color? So it's just automatically adding that in. So if I go here, sample that color, when I go and click the eyedropper tool, it places in the sampled color. Okay, that's weird. To get used to that. Oh yeah, this is all right. I'm looking forward to working on a project in this. I think it will be a fun experience. Yeah, the snapping is solid. Look at this. In fact, oh, where is it? Where's the damn grids? I swear there's a way to turn on an isometric grid really, really easy. Grid and axes. Yeah, there we go. Brings up this window. Preset. Isometric. There you go. Lots of settings. And show grid. Yeah, there you go. Isometric grid. Super. And the snapping's really tight as well. Well, usually it is anyway. I'm obviously being a bit rough around the edges with it. But there's all those different settings that you can go and play around with. Oh, is this pixel snapping? Yeah, yeah. If we turn all that off. Force pixel alignment. Oh, yeah. There'll be a snapping setting for snap to grid. Is that the one? Yeah. Oh, this is it. Yeah, look at that. It's just so. It even highlights both kind of axes going up. So you can just boom, boom, boom. So if you're designing isometrically, it makes it so flippin' easy. I can't get used to every time I create a flipping shape, it sets the fill color to none. It's really annoying. How do I create a shape? It just defaults to that. I just want to press P for the pen tool and start drawing, but it's always set to none. Do I have to pick that? Okay, there we go. So if you define it, when I press P again and start drawing. There we go. There we go. Don't get too grumpy, Dan. It's just one of the many differences. Yeah, so the snapping is so good. So that's snap to grid, and yeah, grid and guides are under here. Oh, whoops, I've buggered it all up now. Right, snap and call you BG lock. Yeah, me when I planned my Sims house. You look bright today. What, like,
Oh,
do you mean technically well lit, or do you mean I look
bright and
radiant?
chirpy.
Hmm?
You are bright and chirpy.
Bright and chirpy. I'm actually bloody tired today. I'm so tired at the moment.
You've been cleansed.
I've been cleansed. I'm really tired. Oh, yeah. The snapping is delicious, Raquel. Delicious snapping. And then we can, oh, alignment, super easy. All your alignment options appear up. They're up here as well, and you've got lots of more advanced ones, but the basic ones are just push, push. Push, push. Select. All right, mate. Alignment options are up here. Push, push, and you're done. So you just have to select them there. And oh, I don't know what I've just made. What have I just made there? Nothing. It's gone. Oh, that's pretty. Not too bad, Sonny Jim. Ah. Oh no. Ah, that's interesting. Okay. So if you do a transform, Command or Control J is kind of like the Command or Control D in Illustrator. It repeats that transform. And Command or Control J is also duplicate layer, which I guess is kind of what you're doing. So it does sort of make sense. Right, let's make you nice and big. Yeah, I think that's turned out pretty well. I mean, we could even, just to add a little bit of icing on la cake. How do we scale? There we go. So we've got a gradient on there. Let's go into effects and we're going to blur this. We do need to go and add a color as well. Yeah. Ah, so if I had a gradient going left to right, this is where transparency could be quite useful. So I've got this color here. We'll add that in the middle. We'll add. So we've got 3 stops all with the same color. And then this one on either end, we're going to drop that to transparent. Maybe not full transparency, but we'll go like for 20%. Yeah, there we go. And then maybe the middle one, we'll drop that down a little bit as well. Yeah, just so we've kind of faded it out of the edge. Or maybe even better, go another step further. Maybe a radial gradient will be better. Actually, no, we'll leave that as it was, just before I screw it up. Yeah, it's quite easy to mess up these sorts of subtle drop shadows, but I think something like that should be pretty good. Cool. Hey, Dilshan. I missed parts, but I was going to ask if using a grid in the shape builder tool is also an option. Yes. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I don't think there is a pattern maker. That's probably one of the main things I would miss if I made patterns. Affinity does give guidance at the bottom of the app for which tools you're using. Yes, that is a really good point. So if I select the gradient tool, or let's say the pen tool, it gives you guidance here as to what else you can do with it. Yeah, the shape builder tool will work with anything. Whether you're using a grid or not, it doesn't really matter. You know, so if I overlap these two here and grab the shape builder tool, it works a little bit differently. So the action here. Yeah. Yeah, so it does that and selects them, but then, yeah, you have to press return to confirm it. Action. Yeah. So there's a few different actions here. You can have it instantly do stuff, or you can have it set. So you can hold Alt or Option and click to knock that out. But when you combine shapes, it marks it up for you, and then you press return to like complete it, if that makes sense. So the shape builder tool does behave slightly differently to Adobe, but they've definitely made some. Oh dear! Whoops! Accidental swastika. That's not much better. I was just trying to draw some crisscross lines. Honest. So you got these lines and they're overlapping. There we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? And what was I doing? My brain's gone blank. Oh yeah, shape builder tool. So S on the keyboard, and yeah, you didn't used to be able to do that. I'm pretty sure you couldn't do that. That was one of the things I found really jarring coming from Illustrator. Is you couldn't just you could do fills, but you couldn't cut out little pieces of path. Whereas here now I could just Alt Option and click and just cut away little pieces. Much better. I like the logo, it looks incredible, but it seems a little unbalanced since it has shapes that compensate very well, but the left side with that shorter line and the space makes it look unbalanced. Ah, yes, you can. Yes, that is a good point. You can actually make symbols in Affinity. Where are they? That's a really good point. Yeah, they do have symbols. So let's duplicate that. How do you make it a symbol? There's definitely. There we go. Create symbol. That's the keyboard shortcut. So it then turns it orange. In fact, I think there's a symbols window. There's so fewer panels. It's quite nice actually. It's a lot cleaner. All right. Yeah, so there we go. I've got my logo symbol, so I can just kind of drag this in, duplicate it a bunch. The orange ones are the symbol. So if I then go in here and make changes, let's just bugger it up. Yeah, you can see all of them get updated, or I can click one instance and detach it. And when it's detached, the other ones will update, but that one's just kind of on its own now. So symbols are very, very useful. That's a really good point, Raquel. That's what I'd probably do to make a pattern, is I would set it up as a symbol. And yeah, I suppose you could just set up like one piece of a pattern that you'd repeat, and then you'd have to manually repeat it and everything. But then even then, you know, even if you're manually repeating it, you only have to go and change the symbol, and it will update the entire pattern. So that is it's fine. Yeah, that's probably a pretty good workaround, I think. There's a lot of stuff that I do like in Affinity that works in real time, which is quite nice. In the last update, they greatly improved the pencil tool because we do a lot of logos manipulating fonts, and it works any bit as good, if not better, than Adobe. Ooh, okay. What did they do to the pencil tool? Was it just like minor tweaks in the way it behaves, or was it like new features? Or it is pretty good. It's a pretty good pencil tool. It's not as smooth as Adobe. I wish the smoothness could go up more. But then the resculpting feature is very good. Where is it? Yeah, this one, sculpt. It's great. So if you don't get a curve quite right, you can just quite literally redraw it. Although yeah, even though you can't smooth it, uh, Illustrator Smooth Tool is great. It's a very fantastic way to just quickly smooth out a path, but you are at the mercy of the tool then and what it decides to do with anchor points. So sometimes it can screw up anchor points a little bit. You know, it will just add and remove them kind of on its own, which is fine in a pinch if you just, I just need something smoothed out. But if you want to then edit the shape further, it's like you just have a load of anchor points in places that you can't really, you can't really work with it anymore. Oh, Dilshan, the UI is just amazing. The UI is so nice and tidy as far as the UI goes. There's no big annoying blue share button or any of that rubbish in the corner. It's just clean, everything you need to know. Yeah, the UI doesn't feel bloated. It just feels clean. I mean, I'd love a property inspector. That's one thing I love in Illustrator when they switched out all the panels for the properties panel. It does make things a lot easier. But this works fine. What's this icon here? Edit all layers. I have no idea what that does. Alone Star says, "Hi, can I ask how did you? Can I ask how did you change your color picker on the top right panel. This is what it comes with. So you can pick different shapes. So you can go for sliders, wheel. In fact, I'll show you how to get the triangle in Photoshop if you're interested. Oh my God. Yeah, Kyle, I'll show you how to do gradients. In Affinity, it's just super easy. Illustrator needs a nice gradient tool. It really does. So here you've got the gradient tool. You just click and drag, and then with one of these swatches selected, you bring the opacity down. Boom, transparency. Or you click and hold here, and you've got the transparency tool, which I think is just, yeah, it just takes whatever color you've got. So if I just stick a solid color back in there again. Hang on. Yeah, so the transparency tool is more about this is the color, just make it transparent. Although I think you can go in and can you change colors? Okay, no, the transparency tool is purely about just changing the opacity. And the color effectively stays or whatever it is here, so it's a blue. Whereas the gradient tool is, it can do transparency, but it can do multiple colors as well. And in Illustrator, I'll show you that as well. Photoshop. Oh, the Photoshop UI is not that bad. No, it's all right. I wish you could just get rid of all this. I just want all this to go away. Ugh, I hate that share button. I hate it. Uh, like I just wish that like it's yes, it might be useful for beginners, but I wish there was just checkboxes for all of these in preferences. You know, if you're someone who's seasoned, you know what you're doing, you've been using it for years, just let me get rid of all that. All it does is just clean everything up and make my experience easier. You know? What are we doing? We're doing I think it's the color panel. Yeah, so if you open up the color panel in Photoshop and you've got lots here, to be fair, lots more actually. And then what you can do is you go and stick it up here. That kind of gives you the same setup as Affinity. And then Illustrator. I think Illustrator's got a lot more tools. See, right, these are the things that really bug me. This is so petty, but this is what bugs me. You tell me if I'm being petty, right? You look at the share button there. You see the way that's treated? Look at the font, the size, and then Photoshop. And the text isn't even centered on that. It's too low down by a pixel or two. And then it's too high by a pixel or two. Like, they should be the same. Like, ugh. And down here, like, part of the boxes are like cut off. And the text, like, it isn't central. And if I make a new document, the text in the buttons isn't central. It's like these are the like little details that drive me insane. Like, look, the pixel value isn't central. This is the sort. This might just be me, but it's the sort of stuff that drives me nuts. Like, this is design software. This text is too high. This text here is arguably a pixel too low, and they should line up. Maybe that's just me being petty. Right, gradients. So Illustrator does have a gradient tool, but it's awful. Photoshop updated theirs, and that's what I'm waiting for. Illustrator's one is, it's like very fiddly. Like you have to hover over the right point to get the rotate thing, and it's fine once you get used to it. I think I've got a tutorial on it actually that does kind of break it down. So watch that if you, in fact, yeah, I'll find it because it's, seeing as you asked, Kyle, it is a good video. Densky gradient. Here we go. Yeah. This kind of goes through specifically how to use Illustrator's gradient tool and just a little bit more depth. Oh, thank you, Raquel. I'm not crazy then. Just a little bit. Yeah. So it's fine once you get used to it. And same as, you know, you can go into the gradient slider here. Sometimes controlling the gradient through this panel is a bit easier. And then you can just double click these and drop the opacity down. So then there you go. You've got your transparency in there. And then you can create the gradient in any direction. And you've got the types up here as well. Yeah, that video is probably like a bit more succinct, and it'll explain it in a bit more detail. Like the slider is these icons here. This icon you want to look for to lengthen it, this one to rotate, and then click on the slider to move it around. So Photoshop's one, if I show you by contrast, the new gradient slider is just so much better. So if Adobe ever end up watching this, please add it to Illustrator. I will love you forever. Maybe. Yeah, so you see, this is very similar to Affinity. Just 2 points either end. Fast, responsive. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Double click. And if I just bring my color panel into view. Yeah, so it's just super snappy. And it's just this kind of stuff that is just enjoyable to use, you know? Whoop, whoop. It just looks and is beautiful to play around with. So hopefully coming to Illustrator soon. Nick, Adobe should hire Tansky to redesign the UI for designers by designers. Just say, don't tempt me, Nick. I've thought about this redesign, not being hired, but I've thought about redesigning the entire UI for Photoshop and Illustrator. I've thought about it. To be fair, I don't think it would probably look much different. It would just... Oh, I don't know, actually. It could be quite a fun project, actually. That would be quite cool. I've created all the icons in Illustrator. I made them for my website before, like ages ago, so I've got vector versions of all these. Yeah, maybe redesigning some of these icons. Oh, that could be quite fun, actually. I've not done a bit of UI design for a while, and that is an itch I would love to scratch. Well, okay, right. This is what I've always wanted. I've always wanted them to, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, to merge Illustrator and InDesign and just have Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Designer. Not InDesign, not Illustrator, just merge those tools. They're very similar. Merge those tool sets. You could do it. Bring some of InDesign's features in. Maybe get rid of a couple of legacy features that no one cares about in Illustrator. Just merge them together and just have Adobe Designer. Have the performance features of InDesign with the creative tools of Illustrator. Yeah. Yeah. So maybe we could do that. Redesigning Illustrator and InDesign. That would be fun. Redesign Acrobat. I ain't touching Acrobat. I'm staying away from that. Yeah, Kyle, it's so much easier in Photoshop, right? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I want it now. Oh, yeah, I've not used Lightroom, but yeah, I guess it's similar to Camera Raw, right? I had a play with Fresco a while ago, but it's not something I use regularly. Oh my God, I just remembered I had a dream last night. I actually had a dream that they renamed Adobe Illustrator and they renamed it to something stupid. What was it? It was something like Adobe Demenc. Renamed it Illustrator to Adobe Demenc. And I remember waking up feeling really irritated. Like, why would you do that? Oh, wait, that was a dream. My school gave us Adobe licenses with our tuition so I can actually do and try the things you're doing. Excellent. Kyle, I should probably try and promote my course to you. Now you've got an Adobe license. So here it goes. Um, Actually, I'm going to show this off because I spent ages redesigning this. So this is the new Dansky website. Learn how to design like a pro, a bunch of stuff. My skill set. Thank you very much for that little wolf whistle there. Yeah, whether it's logo design, photo manipulation, typography, mandalas, apparently, sexy burgers. Oh, love a burger. So these are all the courses that I have. I've got some beginner to intermediate ones for Photoshop and Illustrator. The masterclass versions that basically teach the best of what I can teach with the respective software. And then there's an ultimate bundle that's like 25% off. If you buy all of them together. So that's 4 courses. Well, it's 4 plus a bonus course. So technically 5. And I'll just show you some of the stuff. So yeah, we've got skin retouching. I love playing around with these. These before after sliders are so fun. Yeah, so if you want to take basic, this is a lot of stuff that I do on stream as well. So basic photos, I just kind of retouch them and learn all the tricks. I've used Photoshop for years, but I spent like the first, I don't even know how long, over 10 years using it incorrectly to do this stuff. And the problem is there's so many different ways to do the same thing as well. So this one here is the burger photo, looks a bit boring, making it look delicious, putting it on a poster and then making a poster mock-up from scratch. This one is, oh, I mean, you can only see a piece of it here, but it's like a whole landing page design for a game controller. That game controller is an illustration, by the way, that is also in the Photoshop course. Yeah, here you go. So it'll teach you how to kind of draw the line work and then render that in Photoshop using gradients and other tricks. It's actually surprisingly easy once you know the different steps. Bit of animation to bring things to life. So we've got some Photoshop to After Effects workflow in there as well. Okay, this is a font that I do like, Nicanely normal, but typing out the name just looks crap. So then this is all custom drawn lettering, but based on that font as a starting point. So we've got a custom logo type, technical isometric illustrations, and then full 3D illustrations if you kind of want to take it a step further. Isometric logo design. So again, working to a grid and doing it in a way which is super precise. Oh, this is cool. So this is using grid systems to get more professional work. So in this example, this was a logo that someone did, and I think this might have been yours, Afif. And there were like a few things I pointed out that were technically inconsistent, but if you use a grid system, you just get more precision, which then makes the end result look more polished. There's a before and after in the lesson, so if any of you have enrolled in the Illustrator Masterclass, then you'll see what I mean when you get to it. Icon design, sexy icon design. Ah, 3D. Okay, this is cool. This is amazing. So This is what 3D in Illustrator looks like normally, even with ray tracing, and it looks crap. It just doesn't look very good. Whereas when you bring it into, when you model in Illustrator first, and then export that and bring it into Adobe Dimension, you can then get things looking like this. So this is like a Illustrator to Dimension to Photoshop at the end workflow, and it's just a much better way of creating sexy 3D graphics. Oh, it's not even close. Look at the difference. I think that's it. Yeah. So there's a bonus course. You get any support from me if you get stuck. This isn't just like, a course and then see you later. I'm here to support you. We have a live meetup every month with course members, like a Zoom call. And you get access to the members only area. Pay once, lifetime access. And if you're not happy, then you've got 30 days to chuck it back and say, oi, Ginger, give my money back. So no risk. If you don't like it, no worries. And thank you very much, Nick. I spent a long time redoing this. It's not just the new fonts and everything, and adding that. It was like doing the mobile versions and all this stuff. So it's been a slog. The site builder is called Webflow. I saw your GTA 6 logo recreation. I love those. I actually remade the new Orlando Magic logo, and I'm pretty proud of my recreation. Oh, nice. Where do you do your 3D mock-ups for the packaging? Have you gotten into it? These things here. Yeah, I redid these. Oh, hang on. Let me go back to the homepage. Yeah, so what I did for this was, there's a lot of ways you could do this. You could go on like Envato Elements and download a mock-up and drop your graphics in, but I wanted to have like full control over the colors, the backgrounds, the lighting and everything. So what I did was I made a 3D model in Blender of a box. So you can actually... Oh, hang on. I'll see if I can show you. Blender does go a bit funny when I try and stream it. I'll show you though. Yeah, it's annoying. It's almost like it's just a bit too much for my computer with a stream going. All right, where have I put the damn files? Is it this one? I'll try this one. No, not that one. Yeah, I'll show you. This is cool. So I made the box in Blender, so you can spin around it. So there is actually like a box and an insert and everything, just in case I did want to animate it and spin the box around. It wouldn't just look terrible on the back. And so that is the box, and then the artwork is kind of like a flat net of the artwork. So if I just go and find out where the hell I've put it. Where have I put the artwork? Oh my god, I've got folders and things everywhere. Oh, damn, where's the flipping artwork? Oh, I know where it is. I know where it is. So many files. Okay, here we go. What's that? First class. Yeah, so if I open up this, we'll see if Blender works. It does go a bit funny sometimes, but fingers crossed. Yeah, so this is the artwork completely flat. So you've got the front, the side, and then the back. And then this is just a basic 3D model. And then what I've done is I've wrapped that artwork. It's like a PNG. I've wrapped it around the box. So it's kind of actually mapped onto it. And then you can just move it around and rotate it and do all sorts of stuff with it. And then you can animate it if you want. So if we'll just throw down some keyframes here for the rotation. Scrub forward to something like that. Chuck down another keyframe. Have it spin. We can then just animate it like that, and you can do all sorts of crazy stuff. Let's make it spin loads. Da 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 da. That's so good. Oh, it's so fun. Oh, this would look amazing on a render. The motion blur and everything. Wow, Blender's actually working today. This is cool. We should do some Blender stuff. Yeah, maybe I should put that on the sales page. This looks much more. This looks much more interesting. Yeah, and then you can just kind of export it out, however, adjust all the lighting and everything. So that was why I did it. And then once I had one mock-up created, all I had to do is just export the Photoshop artwork, and then I could just go in here and let's drop in some different artwork, and you can see it just literally pulls that artwork through. And it just makes the whole process super simple just to export all of them out. But yeah, if you are interested in checking out those courses or you've got any questions, dansky.com, or here's my email. Just shoot me your questions and I will do my best to help. Yeah, Blender's free. It's great. I love it. Hey, Kerry. Misa back. You've been hiding. I feel like you've been hiding. Yeah, Dimension's good. If you've got the Adobe subscription, you know, you get Dimension as part of it. So it's pretty minimal and easy to learn as well. I mean, well, thank you. I think it makes sense. This one is just, if you want to just learn how I do what I do and you want to do it as quick as possible, you just got beginner to intermediate to advanced all in 4 courses, plus me on standby if you get stuck or want help or anything. So, if you have already enrolled in any of my courses and you get stuck, just reminder that I am here to help. So you are not alone. Oh, Blender's got a ridiculous amount of features. Like, there's so much you can do in Blender. It's so powerful. I mean, Photoshop and Illustrator, they're definitely the main ones. I could design pretty much 90% of what I need to with just those two. Yeah, it's a little bit outdated now, and they might have changed a few bits, but ages ago, I did do like an introductory video for Adobe Dimension. I think most of it would still be relevant. I just got to find it now. Where is it? There we go. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so slim there. Goodness me, I've become rather chunky. My lovely lean face. This is like 6 years ago. Yeah, there you go. Oh, did it win an Oscar? Yeah. I know they did something. They definitely did a full movie, and it was. I feel like I saw that one. Was that the one that had like a forest in it? The courses are great, guys. Dan is on call 24/7. No, Kerry. I need to sleep. Dan is on call like 17/7. Yeah, no, I'm always lurking in the Discord. There's Kerry there pimping me out 24/7. Oh, yeah, honestly, Carl, between Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, and Dimension, you'll be a flipping wizard. You could chuck Blender in there. If you had any like big publication stuff, magazines or like multi-page documents with lots and lots of high-res imagery, maybe a bit of InDesign as well. It's good for like managing huge documents with lots of pages, lots of contents, magazines, catalogs, brochures, that kind of thing. Yeah, Kyle, if you join the Discord, there's a link in the stream description there is actually a channel on the left where you can submit work. And that's kind of just like building up over time. And then what I do is I normally do streams where I'll review work. So I'll kind of cherry pick some work from that channel in the Discord and then just review it live or work on it live. Oh my goodness. How is it? Is it 4:30? Oh, right. Any questions before I shoot? Oh, big stretch. I can't believe how quiet the cat's been. Is he just sat on the chair?
Yeah, sleep.
He's asleep. I've come home. I'm streaming and working at home now, and he just doesn't care. I'm gonna come and steal you. I'm gonna steal you. Oh, look at this little thing. Hmm? Oh, you happy? You're gonna purr into the microphone. You happy? My little baby, aren't you? It's in the stream description, Kyle. There's a link to sign up.
Connect with hundreds of other creatives. Join our community for free. Bottom one.
That one. This cat is such a donut. Look at him. Look at him. He's such a little baby. You're gonna purr into the mic.
Oh, cheese!
Who's Cheese?
Cheese segment!
Oh my goodness. We haven't done cheese segment, have we? We need a cheese. We did Portuguese cheese last time. This cat. Look at him. It's ridiculous. What kind of cat would let you do this? He's like a little teddy bear.
What about halloumi? Have you done halloumi?
No, we've not. That's Greek, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can put whatever name you like, Carl. Just to let you know, though, if you do put your name as something like, you know, Cheeky McSausage, if I do ever send an email out for something, it will say, "Hey, Cheeky McSausage," blah, 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 blah. So
That'd be great.
that would be amazing, yeah. Definitely don't put your real name. Put Cheeky McSausage. I'll know it's you. Hey, that's the Leo. Stinky Bishop. Go on, then. Write me a brief of the history of Stinky Bishop. Cheese. I can never seem to get the music to come through. It's all right, I'll put it on for me. Let's just put some elevator music on. Okay. Stinking Bishop is a famously pungent English cheese first created in 1972 by Charles Martel in Gloucestershire. It's a washed, rind cheese made from full-fat cow's milk, known for its strong smell and soft, creamy texture. The cheese gets its name and signature aroma from being washed in pear cider made from the Stinking Bishop variety of pear, hence the name. I didn't know that. Originally developed to revive interest in traditional Gloucestershire cattle, the cheese gained international fame after being featured in the Wallace and Gromit film The Curse of the Were-Rabbit in 2005. There you go. I feel like every time we do that, I learn a little bit more about cheese. Where's the voiceover? I mean, we could do another one. We could try and make it sexy.
Halloumi.
Should we do? Okay, hang on. Right. Write me a brief description of halloumi cheese so I can do a voiceover, make it sound sexy. Oh god, this is going to be so bad. Hang on, I do have some sexy music on my desktop. There is a reason why for an upcoming YouTube video. It's not just random. There we go. Halloumi is the cheese that sizzles before it melts. Firm, salty, and oh, so satisfying. Originating from Cyprus, it's made from a blend of goat's and sheep's milk, sometimes with a touch of cow's. Oh. What makes it special? That high melting point. It hits the pan, sears to a golden crust, and stays deliciously intact. Crisped on the outside, soft and springy inside. Whether it's grilled, fried, or tossed into a salad, halloumi doesn't just taste good. It makes your mouth water before you even take a bite. Oh yeah.
There wasn't any music over that though.
No, there is no music and the microphone just fell over. Oh no, it's fallen off. Right, I am cheesed out now. There you go. You're welcome. Hopefully we've all learned something about cheese today. Did Dan win you over with his sultry tones? Oh my god, I got tingles all over. I've just got to made it weird now. Kerry's just going to be there tonight, just lying down like... Halloumi is the cheese that sizzles before it melts. Firm and salty. Oh, so satisfying. Right, that is me. I have peaked. Have an amazing day, everyone. If I submit a design on the Discord now, will you review it now? No. I'll review it whenever. We do dedicated streams for review stuff. Although if you're a course student, then yes, you can send it to me and I'll review it now. Tell us something about graphic design. This is fine, but I'm sorry, you've missed the strip. We've been going for 2.5 hours. I need some dinner. We need J Star Valentine accent. I'm not entirely sure what that is. No worries, but we'll be back on Thursday with Premiere Pro. So if anyone wants to get into video editing and you've got no experience using Premiere, we'll be doing that on Thursday. And then we'll probably be doing a design review stream at some point as well. I just need to figure out when.
All the streams.
All the streams. We need a double exposure stream. Carrier just have me chained to the desk. I just want something to drink and something to eat. No! You will keep streaming. Hey guys, welcome back to this 12-hour stream. Lord, not again. Oh, right. Have an amazing day, everyone, and I will catch you in the next one. See you later. I was going to say, are you going to say bye as well? You're in your own world.
Bye.
Oh, bye. Oh, dear me. Ciao.